Now earlier this year, you saw me take a look at the PT Max driver from Ben Hogan. Really enjoyed that direct-to-consumer club, but on this episode, we're taking a look at the 3-wood and the 3 hybrid, also in the PT Max line, to see how well they perform. Now, one thing I love about this hybrid is that it gives me the vibes of the old Adams Tightlies. If you can see the shape of this club, you'll know what I'm talking about. That was a classic design that so many of us used back in the 90s, early 2000s. Well, the reason this looks that way, in fact, is because the designer for Ben Hogan actually used to design for Adams back in the day. So it kind of makes sense that this is in that same lineage, in that same vein. Now, this is a very oversized hybrid and kind of an undersized 3-wood. It'll be very interesting to see how they perform out here on course, but that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put it through a battery of tests. First, let's take a closer look. All right, so we'll start off with the 3-wood here. Now this, as I mentioned, is kind of a smaller footprint. You've got a forged face here, just like with the driver, and you've got a carbon crown to this one. So a little on the deeper side, but a little bit shorter from toe to heel here on the 3-wood. One thing that I think it's missing that I really wish they would have included is some adjustability here in the hosel. This 3-wood is at 15 degrees, but it'd be nice to change that to 14 or 14 and a half, or even up to 15 and a half or 16. So that's one thing I think would have been nice. Now, it's paired with a good shaft here. This is the Tensei, and I've got a 60-gram stiff flex on it. You've got a Ben Hogan branded grip. It's all in all a really good looking package. Now, here's the hybrid, and if we see that hybrid next to the 3-wood, you can see the hybrid actually is the opposite. It's got more real estate to it, especially that face. That face is considerably bigger, I think, than the 3-wood. And what that allows Hogan to do is actually move more mass a little bit back here, which is going to increase MOI, increase forgiveness, hopefully give us a little bit more lift on those shots. You can see this hybrid also has a tungsten weight that's adjustable back here. Again, no adjustability in the hosel though, which I would have liked to have seen. Now, they've got this one paired with a Mamiya recoil shaft. This is 85 grams and stiff. Again, same Hogan branded grip. All in all, really good package. And again, looking at that from a dress, you're gonna get Tightlies vibes. I love the Ben Hogan little signature there that will serve as your alignment marker. Let's go ahead and put them to the test. First off here, we're gonna take the 3-wood. We're gonna go off the tee box here and see what kind of distance we get out of this. I would like to be 230 plus is what I'm expecting out of a 3-wood here today with the way I'm swinging the club. I've got my G80 though to measure our stats as well as tell us exactly how far we hit it. All right, shot 1 here. I really slung that one, so it started right rough. It's probably gonna end left side of the fairway. Felt good coming off of there, nice peak height. Club head speed was 99, the ball speed was 143, the smash was up there, 144. That's like driver smash I like to see. Estimated carry at least 225. That's a very solid number. I'm gonna try to adjust my club path a little bit to take some of that draw out of the swing and straighten it out. And that's what we've done. So that one started right side of the fairway, and it is drawing back probably right center. I love the way we saw the trajectory there rising. That's what I like to see out of a 3-wood off the tee. Club head speed was 99, the ball speed was 141, the smash was 142, and the estimated carry was 220. All right, let's see if we can do that one more time. I'd love to repeat that swing. That one I hit low on the club face, but gosh, it got up in the air nice and high. It was drawn a little more than I'd like. It may actually end left rough, but for where I hit that, which was kind of heel side and kind of low, pretty forgiving result. Club head speed on that one was 98, ball speed 139. The smash, even for that off center hit, was 142, which is strong. The estimated carry 216. Let's go find out where they finished. So one thing I really liked and really admire about the Ben Hogan irons that's nice to see here in this fairway wood is sound and feel exceptional. It's got a nice like crunchiness to it, but it's also like a compressed feeling. It's hard to explain, but it just feels solid. A lot of times with direct-to-consumer clubs, they can feel plasticky, they can sound plasticky. Not the case here. This thing sounds very premium, feel really good. You know, to my eye, I probably would like a slightly larger profile for the club, but this really isn't aimed at the mid handicappers. This is really, I think, going to be aimed at the lower handicappers out there. So I can see why they chose a little smaller profile on the club. All in all, aesthetics, I think, are really strong. All right, first ball here is right at the edge of the left side of the fairway. I believe this was my first shot. And if you can see there, 228 is the number. This was my second ball that I hit. Again, I thought the draw was a little tighter, a little nicer ball flight. I'd rather see that than the big sling, which is kind of my my nemesis from time to time, especially as I get tired in the day. And this is the third video we've shot here today, so I'm a little tired, but 233 is the number, which is again right around where I'd like to be. And then our final one is probably the longest one. It's over here in the left rough, but again, for a shot that was kind of off center, I'm really happy with that result. 240 is the number there. And we're in the rough, so if we were in the fairway, we might have gotten even a little bit further rollout. All in all, good results there in terms of distance and forgiveness, I thought. Let's go to the next test. All right, second test here with the 3-wood. I really want to test this one for workability. If this is in fact, like I think it is, more of a player's 3-wood, we want to be able to shape shots. So you can see on that first test, draw is my prevalent shot shape, but I'm going to go against it here, try to hit a fade, and we'll see how if we can also flight these shots up and down a little bit as well. All right, I'm going to play this one off my front foot, outside to in swing. Let's see if we can shape our shot. Oh, a nice tight butter cut there. I love that. Love the peak height. Love the feel coming off the club face. One of my better swings there. Maybe I need to go to the fade a little bit more often. Shot 2, let's see if we can really get some swing on it. Yeah, that's carving really nicely, peeling from the left side of the fairway all the way to the right side of the fairway. Really, really nice. Last thing I want to do is see if we can hit kind of almost a lower stinger. Well, caught that one kind of on the fat side, but forgiving club, definitely hitting the fairway there, and we did keep the ball a little lower. All in all, workability. I have also tested this club indoors on the range, and I found it to be an extremely workable club, like what I'm seeing there. All right, last test here, we're gonna be hitting them off the deck. I'm 235, 240 out here to that pin, which is in the middle of the green. Let's see how easy it is to get up in the air with the 3-wood here. Drawing again a little left side, and we're just, I think, just in front of that green. Pretty good. I'm going to adjust my swing path a little bit more here because I'm really kind of over drawing these clubs. So I'm going to play it a little further off the front of my foot and take a little bit more outside to in swing. Let's see if we can straighten it out. Now that was a bad strike and a decent result. We're not going to get to the green, but it's going to be right in front. And I don't know if you saw it, but I took a little bit of a divot there, which I did not want to do. So I hit that a little fat, but still got up in the air. Pretty forgiving for such a bad swing, honestly. Shot 3. And there's our best one, much straighter shot. In terms of distance, I don't think it knocked my socks off, but easy to get up in the air, certainly. All right, next test here, we're out about 215 here from the hole in the rough, and I'm gonna take the hybrid out. Now, the great thing about a hybrid is it's gonna get you out of some sticky situations, and I've given myself some fair lies. They're not great, they're not horrible, they're just fair. This one's probably sitting down the furthest. This first one's maybe sitting up the best, but let's see how the hybrid cuts through the rough. Let's see how we get up in the air. Let's see how close we can get to that flag stick from 215. Well, it came out really nice, and that's on a great line, and we are just on the right apron there of this hole. I don't think that was necessarily my best swing either, so I'm pretty happy with where that finished. Shot 2. Again, hit that one a little toe side, but got up in the air nicely, and that is middle of the green. Very forgiving result for where that was hit on the club, which was basically right there. Not completely center either. Now again, this is our worst lie, and let's see what we can do with the hybrid here. Just gotta trust the club, kind of hit down on it like an iron. I pulled it a bit, but it got out easy, and it's rolling up there. Actually rolled over the back of this green on the left side because there's gonna be a lot less spin coming out of that rough, and also with the type of swing I took there, it had a little less spin on it as well. But all in all, I think a really, really forgiving hybrid, which I would have expected out of that particular type of design. Like we said, with the weighting being back there and having a lot more surface area, it's just going to be a more forgiving club. Love that. Now the trend with hybrids right now is to get smaller and smaller. So it's interesting that they opted for this larger design with a club that, again, Ben Hogan really is more tailored to the lower handicappers. But I think this is a club that easily a mid-handicapper could get along with very, very well. All right, let's see where all these balls finished for us. All right, so just surveying the scene here. These are my 3-woods. Again, I hit these from further out. I hit them about 235 out, but this is short. And this is pretty short. This is, I would say, 25 yards short. So probably hit that about 215. Also this one here, now it hit into the hill, probably came back a little bit, but interestingly enough, the 3-wood and the 3 hybrid gave me very similar distances, and the hybrid actually might be longer, because this is one of our hybrids here, kind of short middle of this green. You can see right here where it hit. That's my pitch mark. We've got one over here, which is almost pin high, just a little short of pin high, but on the apron. And then we have one pin high here that's over in the left rough. Our third ball with the 3-wood was over here on the right. So interestingly, I really do think the 3-wood, especially with that smaller head, is probably going to be a lot more catered to people with higher swing speeds. But this hybrid, for sure, I'm seeing it with my own eyes, I think could be a much more versatile club for the mere mortals out there. All right, if you've got to hit a fairway, oftentimes it's better to hit a little less club than driver. And especially if it's a shorter hole like this one is from this tee box, hybrid's often a very good play off the tee. So let's see how it performs. Again, I got to get a lot of confidence looking down at this one with this nice big head. I want to hit it like an iron shot. And that was a really good one. Drawn back, but it may not actually hit the fairway, but it was on the line I was aimed at. I was just aimed a little too far right there. Club head speed was 90, ball speed 132. Wow, smash 146. The estimated carry and roll 226. I would like to see about 220 off the tee with this club. Shot 2. Now that one was hit toe side, but you wouldn't know it. Great shot shape. Club head speed was 92. The ball speed was 137. The smash is way up there at 149. And the estimated carry 210. 210 is what I'd expect off a toe hit, but man, smash factor like that off a toe hit's crazy. Let's hit another one. That one was a little lower on the club face, but again, super forgiving result. That is perfect shot shape. Club head speed 90, ball speed 132, smash 146. Whew. I gotta say, I really like what I feel forgiveness-wise from this hybrid. Let's go find out where those ones finished. All right, so here are full hybrid shots. 220 is the number here out in the rough. There's one way up there. But distance-wise, I'm getting almost as much out of this hybrid as I was getting off the 3-wood, which is really interesting. Here's the other one we hit. It was more of a straighter trajectory. I really liked the shot shape of this one, and 214 is the number here. But this was my best one. This one was really piped. And man, if I could hit a hybrid like this off the tee, you wouldn't need to hit a driver too often, because this is plenty of distance for the white tees that I play. 236 is the number there. All in all, I really like this hybrid. This is one I could see being in the bag. Very forgiving, very nice peak height, very good distance. All right, time to rank these clubs now. It's actually kind of tough to rank them together, so I'm going to go ahead and rank these separately. When it comes to distance with the 3-wood, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.5 out of 5, and that's purely due to my slower swing speed as a mere mortal. If you can generate your own power, you'll get more lift. I think you're going to get a lot more out of this 3-wood, but for me, for the mere mortals out there, 3.5 out of 5 in terms of distance. Now, where this club really shines is forgiveness. I'm going to go ahead and give it a full 5 out of 5. There were shots I took with this that did not deserve to be anywhere near the fairway or near the green that ended up in pretty good spots here. So this is a very forgiving 3-wood for a player's 3-wood. I want to be very specific about that. This is a 3-wood meant for a better golfer out there. Now, when it comes to workability, as you can see, I was able to work the ball very well. I would give it a 4.5 out of 5 for workability. When it comes to aesthetics, I personally would like to see it just a little bit bigger. But again, I'm not the target market for this particular club, but it's got fantastic feel, fantastic sound. Overall, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 for aesthetics. In terms of value, the Hogan line really well priced. $219 is the cost of this 3-wood. It's a little bit higher than a lot of direct-to-consumer brands, but it's still lower than some of the big OEMs out there. All in all, I'll give it 4 out of 5 for value. Now, moving on to the hybrid. The hybrid is a club I really like. In terms of distance, 4.5 out of 5 for me for this hybrid. In terms of forgiveness, again, 5 out of 5, an extremely forgiving hybrid. I love the big footprint of this. I think it is very forgiving, high OMOI for sure. When it comes to workability, this is going to be a little less workable, so we're going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. For aesthetics, looks, feel, and sound, for me. It's got the Adams Tight Life vibe. It's big, it looks forgiving, it's confidence inspiring, the sound feel exceptional. 5 out of 5 in that category. And I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 for value here at $199 per club. I would love to see some adjustability built into these. I think that's the major thing missing, but all in all, a fantastic release here from Hogan. And if you've got that Hogan driver, I think this is going to be a nice family in the back of your bag. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your comments down below. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you back next time on another edition of Let's Play Through.